Hey everybody, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a stamp and show and tell for you, and sticking with our mystery case theme for the week, it's going to be a quick and easy designer series paper focused card. So all week long I've been using the brightly gleaming designer series paper, and it's 12 by 12, and today I'm actually going to talk about using 4 by 6 sections. Okay, so 4 by 6, that means you could get 6 of these panels out of one sheet of paper to make a card. So if we start with a 4 by 6, you can see I've got a couple cards here. I'm going to make 2 for you today. The first one, let's go with the simple one. So the first one is you would take your 4 by 6 sample, okay, and we're just going to cut a 4 by 5 1/4, which will leave us a 4 by 3/4 piece. So I've just segmented that 4 by 6 into 2 pieces. Now, to keep it super simple, we're just going to apply this large piece to the front of our card. So this one coordinates with the pretty peacock. So I'm just folding my card in half. I'm going to add adhesive. You could use either side. Okay, I'm going to go with the more muted side today. So the papers come, one side has got this copper embossed pattern, and the other side is just a standard pattern without that fancy foil. So whichever side you prefer for your card project. So I'm just going to position this down so I've got 1/8 of an inch framing all the way around. Super simple. Okay, and then we'll line the inside with our very vanilla. Okay, I've cut this down to be 3 3/4 by 5, which I find is a nice size for the inside, and it gives it some framing around the edges. So because it's a dark color card, I want to put some framing there. And then this 3/4 piece, I'm just going to add it to the bottom as a little decorative banner, right? You could, of course, put it anywhere in here you wanted to, but I generally put it on the bottom. So, adhesive, and we'll just line this in the bottom. I am stepping it up from the bottom, so there's a little bit of edging on the sides and the bottom. Okay, so now my card is done, basically. Now I'm going to use the Best Year stamp set today. I have been using holiday stamps so far this week, but these cards can be made for any occasion. Okay, so I'm using the Best Year because it's got lots of different sentiments, birthdays, thank yous, holidays, Father's Day even, okay? So I've got a piece of Very Vanilla. I've got the thank you stamps here, and I've got my pretty peacock ink. So I'm just going to ink this up. Now, keeping it super simple, no fancy measurements. This is simply, I took my stamp, I put it on my grid paper, and I measured that I needed about 1 1/4 tall, and I'm just going to stick with 4 inches wide. Why 4 inches? Because this pattern paper is 4 inches. So this is just kind of going to give it a band across to segment up my card. You, of course, could make it shorter. You could die cut it with some of our fancy dies. You could put it on a piece of paper and punch it out. So I'm just going to put this on my Very Vanilla, and I'm just going to apply that straight to the card. Now you notice I didn't stamp it in the middle. You of course could stamp in the middle, but I did stamp it off to the side. So I'm just going to line that up with that DSP on the front and see how that segments the card. And then on the inside I'm going to add my thoughtful message. And there we go. Quick, easy, really no fuss card. Okay, so that was the first card. I said I was going to make 2 today. Okay, there's the first one. The second one, let's go back to our 4 by 6 paper. So our 4 by 6 paper, this time I've got it cut into 2 3 by 4 sections. Okay, we did a 3 by 4 card earlier this week. So from a 6 by 4, right, I got 6 of them on my paper, I can come up with 2 3 by 4s, right, or I can double my 6 into 12 cards. But this time I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm going to take this piece and segment it again. Okay, So what I'm going to end up with is a 3x3 and a 3x1. Now, what am I going to do with that? All right, so I bring in my pretty peacock card base again. Just fold that with my bone folder. So this time, right, I could have put the 3x4 right on the center, right? I could have framed it, left it alone. But instead, I want to lengthen my sample piece. So I'm just going to separate them like that, okay? Now I have a piece of Very Vanilla. Now I have cut this to be 3 inches wide, and I've kept it narrow at about 1/2 inch, I think. Let's double check that. 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so all this was just kind of done in my head, but I've done similar cards before. So I could separate my DSP into 2 panels, insert a banner, which I can stamp a sentiment on, and I'm good to go, right? But I've used my DSP, and instead of covering it like I did here, I've saved that section and expanded a smaller sample. So this one I'm going to make into a happy birthday card. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp with my pretty peacock, because it's the coordinating color, my happy birthday on this piece of Very Vanilla. Okay, and then I could start putting all my pieces down. So let's go ahead and start adhering. So I'm going to do the 3x3 first. So I'm going to put this about there. Okay, then I know this piece is going to go here. So I could put that on next and then this piece below. But I want to add one more layer. It could be just fine just like that. You don't need this extra layer. But I'm going to add an extra layer. And what I want to add is another layer of Pretty Peacock, which is just cut a little bit larger than this one. It's just going to step this up a little bit, and it's going to give me something to pop up on dimensionals. So I'm going to adhere this one down, and I'm just going to leave a gap. Okay, as long as my gap is smaller than the band I'm putting in between, it's fine. So I'm going to apply my sentiment one to this Pretty Peacock. Okay, and that could be adhered down with snail. Again, it's just going to give it a little lift being on another layer. But I am going to pop that one up on dimensionals, because dimensionals are easy to use, right? They're not even liquid. They're not even going to stick to where they don't need to be. So I'm just going to put this over the top. Again, I'm lining up my vanilla with this edges, but then this bands out beyond that. Okay? And then for the inside, I've just got my Very Vanilla panel. Usually I would stamp it first, but I'm going to put it down first. And then I'm going to stamp inside, wishing you your best year yet, which I realize is great for not only a birthday card, but I've been using it on the holiday cards too. So it's really a dual purpose little sentiment there, which is kind of cool. Okay, so remember, we started with 12 by 12. Then these came from a 4x6 piece, right? The first one I used the whole 4x6 on the card, a large panel on the front, and then a liner embellishment. This one I split this in half and then I divvied it up and made the other card. So I hope you're enjoying this week's Mystery Case Quick and Easy cards. Remember, any paper, just make it with coordinating colors, coordinating inks, use your favorite sentiments, or better yet, leave the sentiments out. Just make the card with blank spaces for the sentiments and add them when you need them. Then you can make a whole bunch of cards, have them in a box, saved, ready to go, and then you're not in a rush to make a card when you need one. So those are my tips for today. There's one more project tomorrow for this, so stay tuned on the blog for that as well. And I'll see you with the Follow Along Friday on Facebook if you join me over on the Facebook group. So all the links will be shared below, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.